Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily set your clutch cable slack. Now this is something that is going to vary slightly bike to bike. Obviously if you have a hydraulic clutch, well, this video doesn't apply to you. It's for cable actuated clutches, which come on usually sport bikes or the lower powered bikes. Now what you're looking for is to set the amount of Freeplay in the lever before the cable starts to pull. You don't want everything jammed completely up tight, because when you move your levers to the extreme one way or the other, you actually start to pull on the cable. So you need a little bit of actual slop in the mechanism, a little bit. Now, different manufacturers and different manuals are going to give you different ways to measure exactly how much slack you need. For example, on this FZ09, the Yamaha spec assumes that you have the stock levers on and actually gives you a measurement from the end of the lever moving this way. So you would put a straight edge here or a tape measure and measure how far the end of the lever is moving. The problem is, once you put on any different configuration of levers, that changes exactly how much movement you will get at the end. Now my stock lever came out close to here, so obviously that distance is going to be different. And they give you a range. There's typically about a 50% plus or minus range on whatever they want you to be. But here's a foolproof way to do it, no matter what bike you have, no matter what levers you have. And that's by measuring the gap right here. Wherever your lever pivots away from the actual mount point, you're going to see a physical gap, and you're going to see the cable down below. This is going to be the same no matter what lever you have on your bike. So by measuring this gap, we can actually set it correctly. And the real easy way to do that is to use 2 standard thickness credit cards. Just regular plastic credit cards or ID or whatever you want. The thickness of 2 of those in that gap is going to give you, is going to give you the perfect amount of slack. Now, you don't want to pull on the cable at all. What you're doing is just moving the lever until it has a little bit of resistance. It's just meeting the cable. If you are moving that cable, you're pulling down too much. So you're looking for the actual slop in the mechanism, that amount of gap. And if 2 fit in there with just a little bit of resistance, you're absolutely perfect, right in the middle of the typical range. So to adjust it, if you need to go one way or the other, you're going to have some type of adjustment collar, or maybe a lock nut, something here that's going to adjust the length of the sleeve. The cable itself is ball-ended into your lever. It doesn't move. So what we're adjusting is the length relative to the cable of the sleeve. And you just rotate or adjust your mechanism. Usually it's something like this, and it just clicks as you turn it to get yourself the proper gap. Now, if you are completely out of adjustment here for whatever reason, maybe you've changed your bar configuration, or it's a stretched cable, it's just got a lot of age on it, or for some reason your levers that you installed don't interface quite the same way as stock, but let's just say you've got way too much gap here, or it's completely closed up and you just don't have enough adjustment at this point. Now we go down to where it actually interfaces with the clutch and do a larger adjustment to get ourselves some room up here, because this is where you make all your normal maintenance adjustments. The cable stretches over time, same as the brake cables, and I went over that in a separate video. So you do have to make maintenance adjustments every so often here. Check your gap, measure it, and eventually you either want to replace your cable or you'll have to go down at the clutch side. So let's take a look at that. So down here at the clutch, and again this will vary bike to bike, but the actual mechanism may change slightly. The premise is always going to be the same. You're going to have your cable assembly coming in and mounting to the actual clutch arm, and you're going to have a lock nut that you need to loosen that will allow you to give it some slack, and then you'll have a jam nut on the other side that you want to adjust and then tighten back up the lock nut. That will change where the actual interface between the clutch lever and the cable is, giving you or taking up your Freeplay up at the lever end. So I hope that helps somebody. It's a super easy thing to do. It's going to make sure that you've got a really good clutch engagement, keeps your clutch in better health, and makes it a lot easier on your fingers to have that maximum clutch engagement zone. See you next time, guys.